Besieged by war, ravaged by monsters, and crawling with the undead, the land of Ocaria is dying. 17-year-old Amara survives by using her minor healing gift to save as many as she can while escaping the clutches of the invaders who thirst for her enchanted blood in Orphan by Hayley Reese Chow. What up, nerds? Welcome back to the Nerdy Narrative. My name is Leslie Smith, and today on the channel I'm going to be discussing my reading experience with Orphan by Hayley Reese Chow, which, while it is labeled as the third book in this series, it can be read as a standalone. When the author emailed me however many months ago it was now, she did offer to send me the other books in the series if I was interested, and I am 100% interested. But I wanted to read this book without going back and reading the first two books, simply to see if this book could in fact be read as a standalone, and it absolutely can. The very first time I sat down with it, I fell in love with it. I was excited to read it. I couldn't put it down. When I wasn't able to read it, I was constantly thinking about it. Let's talk about all the things I loved. How it is that I came to read this book, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, is because the author reached out to me and asked me if I would be interested in it. The number one reason why I initially said yes is because the book description had one of my buzzwords in it, which is necromancer. Now, I am going to tell you there was not much page time with the necromancer, but we do deal with a lot of the things that he has reanimated. This book was so stinking good that I didn't even care I didn't get much page time with the necromancer. I actually completely forgot that that was the reason why I wanted to read it. To dive a little deeper into the book description and tell you who the main culprit is, the reason why I think I fell in love with this book from the start is a cursed cat named Shadmundar, which we're going to call him Shad for short because that is a really long, difficult name for me. N's and R's that are close together in a word, I struggle with. I had to stop and think about it, and I speak really slowly, and it just sounds ridiculous. We're going to call him Shad. Also, y'all, if you didn't know, I didn't even know this about me until I read this book and I started thinking about all of these other cursed cat books that I've read and loved. Apparently, I need to add cursed cats to my list of reading buzzwords when I'm looking at book descriptions, picking out books, because I have loved every one that I've read over the last couple of years. So when a cursed cat saves Amara's life, reveals to her that she's the legendary time heir the necromancer king has been looking for, she agrees to act as bait in a plot to try and destroy the dead king. It sounds simple and it sounds like it came together really quickly. It did not. It goes horribly awry. Amara finds herself out of the frying pan into the fire. She never knew she was this time heir. She has no idea how deep her powers go, but if she wants to save her people, she's got to figure it out. That book description, after reading that book, is so completely inadequate for all of the things that happen in this book that make it so wonderful. I would still consider it a fairly new release. It came out in February of 2023. It is self-published, and for those of you who love audiobooks that are already like turning your ears off, there is an audiobook available. It's narrated by Heirs, who I've never heard narrate a book before, but she did a great job. And I hope that she did the other two books in this series because I'm looking forward to listening to those as well. I already led with how much I loved the cursed cat, Shadmundar. Amara, our main character, you just fall for her because she is utterly alone. It's that classic trope of trying to find where you belong and also who your people are. And when Amara finds out that she's the time heir, well, at first she doesn't believe it. How could she possibly be this great supposed savior and protector of Ocaria when she only has this minor healing touch? Some of you may be scratching your heads and you're going, you keep calling Amara the time heir, but you say that her ability is healing. Well, time heals all wounds, right? But on the other side of that, time travel. Y'all, goodness, there's different types of healing. And that's all I really want to get into regarding the magic system for this one. I think it is much more fun to discover this magic reading it organically yourselves for the first time, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was clever and unique, unexpected, and maybe it's unexpected because I haven't read the first 2 books. I don't know for sure. This is me just blowing smoke, but my guess is the first 2 books in this series deal with the other 2 heirs. So I think all of what's happening in this one is all new to any readers of the series. Let's talk about the writing style of Hayley Reese Chow. In fact, I have an example here because who doesn't love a well-delivered badass line? It's non-spoiler, it's out of context, but it's just so well timed, so well delivered by this character in this book that it just really made an impact on me, and I thought, wow, this is awesome. You are not. Aza's voice was slow and calm. You are a time heir of legend, gifted with the strength of Odriel himself to heal the injured, strengthen the weak, and be the wall between life and death. To the tireless, he gave the hardest task. To the most gentle, he gave the most power. That is you, Amari Akil, Ione Rao, survivor of the blood-soaked West. Oh my goodness. I know it's out of context and you have no idea what's going on around it, but when I tell y'all, that line made me sit up and go, hell yes. So good. Trust me, when you read that one in its context, it has that kind of power of when Kaladin Stormblessed lands next to Dalinar and he says, honor is dead, but I'll see what I can do. Y'all, it just hits. It really does. If this book sounds like one that might be interesting to you, I'm going to have it linked down in the description box below along with the author's website so you can read more about this author and their other works. And I feel like I can go ahead and predict this is going to end up becoming a series recommendation as soon as I read the other 2 books. Of course, as soon as I do, I'll be on here sharing my thoughts and opinions. I'll be interested in whether or not I will still agree that Times Orphan can be read as a standalone. Thank you for listening to me talk about a book that I had a fantastic time with, and I think you might would too. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one.